Hello again, mathematicians. I'm sure you are getting a little sick of seeing me, but I hope that you have worked hard on your Topic 9 review. You have answered all of the questions before watching this video. So I'm going to repeat that again, and Mom and Dad should be able to say yes. You should be able to say yes. You have completed all of these questions before going over the answers with me. Because remember, just writing down the answers is not going to help you tomorrow on your test. And I want you to do fabulous on your test, okay? So if you have not done any answers yet, I need you to stop this video and I need you to go work on them. If you have your answers already, kiss your brain and let's get ready to check to see if we are correct. All right, so it wants you to find the sum of 337 and 285. And you know what? I hope you noticed this. When I told you to do it, I put a subtraction sign. But you weren't supposed to subtract. So that was my fault, and I hope you noticed that. You were supposed to add, because when you sum, when you hear the word sum, that means the answer to an addition problem. And I apologize for that. I hope you noticed that. So first it wanted you to break apart the number. So if we look up here at 337, we've got our hundreds, our tens, and our ones, right? So 337, 3 hundreds, 3 tens, and 7 ones. Then if we look at 285, we have our hundreds, tens, and ones, and there are 2 hundreds, 8 tens, and 5 ones. So again, I had subtraction on my brain from earlier when I was teaching some lessons. So remember, it wants you to find the sum, and the sum means, and you were probably yelling at me earlier and I couldn't hear you, means you are adding, right? So if you have 7 plus 5, you should have gotten what? 12. So you're going to put down the 2 and you are going to carry the 1. I always circle the 1 so I don't forget about it. And I'm going to do 8 plus 1 equals 9. And 9 plus 3 equals what? 12 again. Put down the 2, carry the 1. I'm going to circle the 1. And I'm going to say, ooh, I might do this because I know my doubles facts. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And 3 plus 3 equals 6. So you should have gotten 622. And then you did not need to do number 2. So we are moving to number 3. It says which addends are broken apart correctly. So they're talking about, with our hundreds, tens, and ones, breaking it apart into expanded form. So if we look, there were 2 because it said select all that apply. So there were 2 answers that you should have picked. And you should have picked 500, and look, here we are, plus 300, 30 plus 60, because we're into the tens now. And then there was just a 2 in the ones. So you should have picked the 4th one, and also the, which one? The 5th one. Because here we can see there are 500 and 200. If we look over in the tens, we have 20 and 30. And then if we look in the ones, we just have the 6. Okay? So again, you should be yelling at me when I say sum. I know I'm not subtracting. What am I doing? I am adding. All right? So it wants you to find the sum of all 3 of these numbers. Here's a clue too that helps me know I'm going to add when I hear the word and. So if I stack my numbers, and I am making sure every time I am lining up all the ones nicely, all the tens, and all the hundreds, what did you get? Okay, well, let's double check our work. If we have 9 plus 6, what does 9 plus 6 equal? Or we could actually do 6 plus 4. What's 6 plus 4 equal? That might be easier. 10, right? And then we have 10 plus 9, which equals 19. So remember, we put down the 9 and we carry the 1. I always circle the 1 so I don't forget. Okay? And I have 7 plus 1 equals 8 plus 5 equals what? 13. Put down the 3. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. And 2 plus 2 equals 4. And you should have gotten 439, which was what? D. Okay? Take a breath. Kiss your brain. If you got any of these wrong, maybe put a little star next to them so mom and dad can go over them with you, or they might have already gone over them with you. Flip it over. We're still on adding the sum, right? So we have 276 plus 289. I know I always start in my ones place. I have 6 plus 9, which equals what? 17, right? So I'm going to put down the, no, not right. Mrs. Harp is not thinking. 9 plus 6 equals what? 15, sorry. Put down the 5, carry the 1. Then I have 1 plus 7 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals what? 16. Put down the 6, carry the 1. 2 plus 2 equals 4. 4 plus 1 equals 5. You should have gotten 565. Okay, now the next one is a two-step problem. It says find 237 plus 20, which should be pretty easy for you. And then it says then subtract, okay? So if first we add, what do we get? 7 plus 0 equals 7. 3 plus 2 equals 5. And 2 plus nothing equals 2, right? So your first answer was 257. Now they want you to subtract it from what? 302. Well, you should know when you subtract, the biggest number better go first. So you have 302, and you are subtracting that from 257. Now this is where you should be asking your question, more on the top or more on the floor, right? So there is more on the floor. But if you go next door, can you take anything from next door? No. So I'm going to teach you a trick. If you box the hundreds and the tens, you have 30, right? So now try to go next door and let's take from 30. So if you take from 30, if you take 1 10 away from 30, what do you get? You get 29. So now we can add that 110 to our 2, which is 12, right? And then if we have 12 minus 7, what do you get? You should get 5. Oh, look, more on the top or more on the floor? More on the top, no need to stop. 9 minus 5 equals 4. And then 2 minus 2 equals 0. So your final answer should have been 45. Okay, number 7, it's asking you to subtract, and it says subtract 168 from 300. That's reminding us that we need to start with our biggest number. And put the smaller one on top, or sorry, on the bottom, okay? So then let's look. Oh my goodness, more on the top or more on the floor? There's more on the floor. But if we go next door, it's the same thing. We can't take anything. So remember what I just showed you? Box the 30 and turn it into a what? Into a 29. So then we have 110. And if we have 0 and we give it 110, the 0 turns into a 10. So 10 minus 8 equals what? 2. And then we're going to ask ourselves the question, more on the top or more on the floor? More on the top. No need to stop. 9 minus 6 equals 3. And then 2 minus 1 equals 1. So for your answer, you should have gotten C, 132. Okay? So then on 8, I just wanted you to add it, and then it asked, is it less than 346? So if we add 368 plus 37, what did you get? Okay, well 8 plus 7, what does that equal? Because we always start in our ones. It equals 15. Put down the 5, carry the 1. I've got, and I'm going to circle it, I've got 6 plus 1, which equals 7, plus 3, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to put down the 0. I'm going to carry the 1 over to the hundreds. I have 1 plus 3, which equals 4. So my answer was 405. Is 405 less than 346? No. So we could have also written this. 305 is greater than 346. 405 is greater than 346. Okay, for number 9, you should have been able to stack it with your hundreds, tens, and ones. More on the top or more on the floor? More on the floor. Go next door, say it with me, and get 10 more. The 2 turns into a 1. The 5 turns into a 15. 15 minus 7 equals what? 8. So then we're moving on. 1 minus 4, can we do that? There's more on the floor, so we have to go next door and get 10 more. The 8 turns into a 7. The 1 turns into an 11. 11 minus 4 equals 7. And 7 minus 6 equals 1. So you should have gotten D. All right, take a minute, take a breath, kiss your brain.